Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about my 2-year experience with Betterment, how much I've made with Betterment, how much I've paid in fees, and how much I'm actually depositing into my Betterment account on a monthly basis. So let's jump into it. Now, before we jump into the video, just to give you guys some background, the reason I chose Betterment, because I set up this Betterment account maybe back in 2014, 2015, to set up a Roth IRA. And then once I paid off my debt, I set up this Betterment account because I didn't really know much about investing. And I already had a Betterment account. And between the two that were out there, Betterment and Wealthfront were the two major robo-advisors. So I just wanted something where I could put money in. I could set it all up ahead of time and I could just auto deposit and then it would take care of where to put it. Now that I'm a little bit more seasoned and a little bit more knowledgeable on investing, I'm definitely handling my stuff a little bit better to help avoid fees. But anyway, let's jump into the video. For this video here, we're going to jump over to the computer because it's a lot easier to explain the Betterment interface on my computer as opposed to my mobile device. The amount here that you see here is the total balance. So this is about 2 years of investing with Betterment. So I have this on a auto deposit where it happens on the first of every month. It's about $875 is what comes out of my account every single month. That is on auto. Once it goes in here to the Betterment account, it's allocated based on this allocation here. So right now I'm on a more aggressive path. I have 90% stocks and 10% bonds. So I'll give you guys just a breakdown here of where everything is at. So you can see a majority of the income here is in the US total market. You can see the percentage of fees here as well, and this is just a total average of all the fees here, and then this is just a average of the current weight of where everything is allocated. So a lot in here. If you click down here, you can actually see the actual stock that's in. It's a Vanguard stock here, VTI. So a lot of these here are actual Vanguard stocks. I do have a Vanguard account now, so I could easily just move it over to where I don't have to pay the fees with robo-advisor and just basically just monitor, just copy or mirror this same setup that I have here. Or I can take it over somewhere like Robinhood or M1 Finance and do the exact same thing, which is probably going to be something that I may do down the line. But for right now, this is fine just to let it sit here in this robo-advisor. So we can just do a click down here. You can see most of these are just Vanguard funds that I have set up here in the actual share. I think a few of some of them aren't Vanguard, even international. So there's a few that aren't, but majority are just Vanguard funds that we can set up, or ETFs that are set up through Vanguard. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual activity. So I can show you guys just how much of this has been deposits and how much has been based off performance. So if we go here to activity, we can see how much has come in each month from dividends. So if we adjust this amount here and we just make it to, we'll just do this year here. So let's go back. Actually, I want to take it back to the life of the actual fund. So let's do here, and this should cover when it actually started. So we'll have to load more activities here. Okay, cool. So we're coming up on 2 years here. So this is where I officially started the deposit and set up my account. So you can see most of the funds started coming in. It looks like most of these, based on the funds that they have set up, it comes in every quarter. There is a fee here that charges as well. As you can see, the auto deposit, again, like I said, it's set to come out of my account on the first of every single month, but sometimes it hits a few days later in the actual Betterment account, depending on when the first falls, if it's a weekend or something like that. But you can see here, so most of the dividends that come in are just small, and the big ones usually come over time. Usually the bigger ones come every quarter. You'll see a big deposit or bigger dividend. So as I've added more money and deposited more in here, these dividends are slowly, the amount I'm getting back each month and each quarter is slowly starting to increase and go up every single month. So you can see these are getting bigger. The fees are getting a little bit higher as well. Like I say, it's an option. If I wanted to just move this over to a Vanguard account, then I could just go through and just copy these funds, or if I wanted to move it over to Mfinance, I can just manipulate or duplicate that process and move these over. So you can see just on a steady investment, the fees or dividend fees are coming in, but it's not all of the fees that are coming in as well. So if we go here and let's just do a performance, click on performance, we can see the actual breakdown on how it's actually doing. So you can see when I first started out, it's primarily there's a little bit earned. There was some loss just depending on the market changes, but right here, this is where the market went down for these 3 months. You can see I was losing money here by investing, and then it started to turn around here. You can see here where the blue is at here. This is where this is either earned from dividends or market changes start to happen here. So you can see for the most part now we're getting steady to where we're just in that blue area, to where we're not losing money on it, we're investing money. So that's why it's important that you invest. If you're going to do some investing, that is going to be long term, and that you don't panic when the market changes. So I could have easily panicked here if I was trying to manage this month by month and didn't keep the same goal amount. This is just a long-term plan here. I could have easily pulled and lost money, but I just stayed with it, and that's the plan. I'm just going to keep on investing in here. If I move it over to another platform or another service provider, then it will be the same thing. It's still going to be a long-term investment, this investment here. As you can see here, the net deposits that I've deposited, just my cash from the 875 that comes out, has been about 17,500. And then you can see the earnings here, as well as the breakdown. So a lot of the earnings here has been from market changes, about 1,500. And then the rest has come here from the dividends that I've earned over the life of this actual balance. So you can see almost not quite 2 years. We're probably about 4 or 5 months away from being 2 years. But so about 1.5 years here of investing with Betterment. So if you come down here, you can see how much we've made cumulative since I've had the account set up. So simple earnings, and I'll give you just a breakdown here. This is just divides your earnings by the total net deposits, unless there's any withdrawals or anything that came out. So we're looking at about 10.7% return. So if we're looking at the initial rate of return, the initial rate of return is an all-in personal return that accounts for the size and timing of deposits and withdrawals, as well as asset growth. So we're looking at about 20.8% at initial rate return overall. If we look at these numbers annualized, then it drops a little bit. It's about, from year to year, it's about 6.5%, and then we're looking at about a 12.4% as well. So like I said, you can see I've made about 20 deposits here, and so for about 17,508 is what we have here. That's just cash out of the pocket, but this is just the full balance here, about 19,000, and then I've paid, over the life, I've paid about $30 in fees. So it's not a lot in fees, you may be thinking, but over time, that does add up, and that does take away from money that you could be earning compound interest on as well. Another cool feature that I like about Betterment is they have this function here, which is called tax loss harvesting. This is what they've harvested here. So by doing this, this helps you save on taxes. They just go in and they add this tax loss harvesting here, and they just automatically put those funds back into your account to help minimize the amount that you pay on taxes just from market changes. So that's the cool thing about the robo-advisor. I know that if you're trying to do it and manage it yourself, you have to take care of that part of it yourself. So that's the performance-wise. We've looked at the activity account. I showed you guys that. We've looked at the actual breakdown of the portfolio as well. So you guys get a good picture of just my portfolio analysis. And this is here is this just shows the plan. So I'll get into why I chose the 875. So this is the thing that's a little bit confusing about when I set up. So when you first go through and set up your account, they give you a goal you set up, and they give a recommended amount of how much you should deposit. So up until about 2 months ago, all of this was on track to hit. I set a goal. I just wanted to do $1 million in 30 years. I was on track to do that. So now I am off track. So I'm not going to increase or change the amount that I'm depositing. I just want to see if this adjusts or changes over time to come back on track. But you can see just a quick analysis of the chances that they give you just throughout the years and throughout the breakdown. So I think this is really cool for you to see that visually. They do a really good job of projections and then just the visual aspects, so you can see where you're at year to year and how you're on target. So the money is in this area here where this line starts to curve and you start to get that hockey stick. That's really where you're going to see the difference in the return of your money coming in. So that's just a quick overview of my Betterment account, where I'm at, how much I've made. You can just get a quick overview here. This is just the main page of your earnings. And you can see how much goes in each month, total balance. Here, like I say, this just goes into my account. Betterment manages it, they sync it, and they put all of the money. They allocate it based on the plan that I have and just reallocate each month to make sure that I'm on track to reach that goal. But according to them, I am off. So we'll see how that changes. But who knows, maybe now that I've got more familiar with how stocks work and being able to set them up individually, I may eventually, I know at some point I'm going to move over to where I manage it myself to help even minimize the smaller percentage of fees that they charge as well, because like I say, most of them are through Vanguard. I have a Vanguard account that I can set up, that I have already set up, so I can just get these funds transferred over there, or maybe over to M1 Finance or Robinhood, where there's no fees at all being charged. I do have a Roth IRA through it, but not very much activity on that. I just wanted to talk about my plan here and what I had in my personal investing, just my index funds that I have set up here with Betterment. I may do one on the Roth IRA as well, and I'll do more videos on my account with with Robinhood and with M1 Finance once I get that set up, and any other in my Vanguard account at some point as well. I'll do a video on that, just showing where I'm at and how those are performance. But just wanted to do a quick almost 2-year performance on how things are performing with Betterment. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them below in the comments, and I'll see you all on the next video.